Hello and welcome back to another Rush Duel Links video. Today I thought what we'd do is talk a little bit about Rush Duel tournaments, kind of who's running them, what kind of tournament they are, where they are, how you can take part, and what you kind of need to do to be able to play in these Rush Duel tournaments. So to start off, we should really categorize these tournaments as official tournaments and kind of community run tournaments. So the official tournaments would be things like the Duel Links Challenger Cup. Now Challenger Cups have been around for a while, they're going on in Master Duel right now, and they had some in Duel Links previously, but the idea is generally a content creator or someone in the community is given a tournament to run, and then that will be officially supported by Konami, and they'll be giving them prize support to go with it. So there aren't any Rush Duel Challenger Cups going on at the moment, but they will eventually come back, we would assume, and those are the official Rush Duel tournaments. All the tournaments we'll talk about today, though, are all going to be community-run tournaments that you could play in every week. Something that you can just jump in, play some games with your deck, and have just a really cool time. So what better place to start than with the Rush Duel Grand Prix? So the Rush Duel Grand Prix is run by Grand Harrier. Grand Harrier is a really, really nice guy, very, very friendly, and very knowledgeable about the game, which makes him an excellent tournament host. His tournaments specifically are Swiss tournaments, which to anyone that doesn't know means basically you play a set number of rounds, and then after all of those games, we basically see who has the best win-loss record, and then we put those people into a top cut where they'll play in single elimination. The benefits of a Swiss tournament is generally that it's seen as being more competitive, because even if you have one bad game, for example, it won't completely knock you out of the entire event, as well as the fact that you do get to play more games. In single elimination, if you just lose your first game, you are out, you are done with the tournament. But in a Swiss tournament, you do always get to play those 4, 5, 6 rounds, depending on how many rounds of Swiss there are. So I personally have always preferred Swiss, and that's usually how in-person events I've been to have also been. So I feel more comfortable in a Swiss environment. And I think generally people do agree with that Swiss is more fun overall and a little bit more competitive. And I personally do try to play in as many of the Grand Prix as I can. I've made top cut countless times, and a handful of times have actually taken second place, but I still don't think I've actually won a Grand Prix yet, so I still have to tick that off of the bucket list. Grand, like most of the people we're going to talk about today, is primarily a speed duel player and tournament organizer, so also if you're looking for speed duel tournaments, this is also the place to go. The Rush Duel Grand Prix take place every other week on Sunday at 2 PM EDT. And if you do want to take part in any of these tournaments, feel free to go to Grand Harrier's Twitch channel or his Discord channel, which are both going to be linked down in the description. Then you can sign up and join one of these really, really fun Rush tournaments. One notable thing about the Rush Duel Grand Prix is that anyone that does make top cut, whether that's top 16 or top 8, depending on what they're doing on the day, you'll be required to upload your deck list on the DLM deck builder, which will also be linked below, which is just basically a way for them to publish the results of the tournament, because generally all of the tournaments we're going to talk about here, their results do get published on Duel Links Meta, so your deck list will be available for everyone to see. The Rush Duel Grand Prix does also offer cash prizes for its 2 finalists, so if you come first or second place, you will be required to send Grand your PayPal information so that he can pay you monetarily, which is quite a nice incentive for entering those tournaments. So next up, we'll talk about the Quantum Rush tournaments. Now the Quantum Rush are run by Quantum Cubes, who is a really fantastic Duel Links streamer over on Twitch. Generally, these tournaments are single elimination, which is exciting in its own way. I think a lot of people make the argument that once you finish playing Swiss, it becomes single elimination anyway, so it's not really that much different than starting single elimination from the get-go. But single elimination does have its pros and cons. Generally, though, you do just get to fire your rounds a lot quicker. As soon as your next opponent has finished their previous game, you can just jump straight in and immediately play. You don't have to wait for the round to end, which is quite nice, as well as the fact that if you do lose, you don't have to sit around and wait knowing that you're going to not make the top cut anyway. When you lose, you can just quit out, leave it, or you can watch the rest of the tournament. You can do whatever you want. So single elimination is pretty cool for those reasons. These tournaments are usually held every week, but not always. They're not always every single week, but they're generally at 5 PM EDT. And I personally do really enjoy Quantum's tournaments. He's, again, a really lovely guy, and I've actually won a handful of the Quantum Rush tournaments, so I am quite fond of them myself. And just like Grand, Quantum also primarily does speed duel content, so if you're also looking for speed duel tournaments, Quantum Rush dailies are also a fantastic place to go. Next up, we're going to talk about the only person we're going to talk about today that primarily does Rush Duel content, and that is the Rush Duel Links Discord server run by Colossus. And these guys are fantastic. Really, really friendly, has really good resources to help Rush duelists. And specifically, the events that they typically run are point battles into Top Cut, which is a very interesting format. So on Duel Links, we can do things called point battles, which basically we set up a duel room, anyone can join it, we set a time limit on how long we have to play in that room, and then anyone in that room can kind of queue up against each other, sort of like a mini ladder. At the end of the time limit, all the players in the room are ranked based on how many points they have. Then basically a top cut is taken from that, and then those players go into a knockout bracket. So this is a really cool way of having a tournament set up, because it's very much automated all within Duel Links itself, except for the top cut, which has to be run on something like start.gg, or even just run manually. But what makes this even more exciting is it means there are 3 different types of tournaments we can go to. If we want Swiss tournaments, we can play the Rush Grand Prix. If we want single elimination, we can play Quantum Rush. And if we want point battle, we can play the Rush Duel Links tournament. So very, very exciting there. But not only do they run point battles, Rush Duel Links has also been known to run some single elimination tournaments themselves. So they might be doing some more in the future, which again, you should join their server. All of that information is going to be down in the description, and sign up to any of their events that they do post. The point battles over at Rush Duel Links typically are held every Friday at 2 PM EDT and are run by the best Rush Duel content creator in the scene, Hylister. So once again, all 3 of these different tournaments are running quite frequently. All of that information is going to be down in the description. You may want to make sure you join all of their Discord servers, go and see their streams, and then start playing in these Rush tournaments as soon as you can. There are 2 other tournament organisers I'd like to give a quick shout out to, although I haven't really interacted with them as of yet. But the first is the Evil Family, which again primarily do Master Duel and Speed Duel content, but they have had a couple of Rush Duel events, and I've heard good things about those Rush Duel events, so maybe give them a shout. And the Starry Cup, run by Happy Ryax, has done a collab event with the Rush Duel Links server, and thus might be doing something more Rush Duel in the future, so also want to give them a shout out as well. So, now you know where all these tournaments are, how do we actually play in a Rush Duel tournament? So, every single tournament we spoke about today is run on start.gg. So, start.gg is an interesting website. It basically allows you to, for the most part, let tournaments just be run automatically with a little bit of input and a little bit of control and a little bit of moderation from the tournament organizer themselves. So, you have to sign up and make an account with this website, then you register for the tournament that you want to play in. Then you have to upload your deck list as an image. Then you will be automatically paired with an opponent at the tournament start time. Then you have to check into your match, which just means clicking into your game and then clicking that you have checked in. Once both players have checked in, you will then have the option to chat to your opponent, where you'll have to send your opponent your duel room code or accept their duel room code. This is quite simple. In Duel Links, you'll simply go to the PvP section, click on Duel Room, and then either create or join a Duel Room. Make sure you swap it from Speed to Rush. Then there will be a button that will show you what your Duel Room code is, and then that is what you either send to your opponent, or if you're joining a Duel Room, you will take the code that they send you, plug that in, and then join into the game. Then you'll join a table. If it's just the default settings, there will just be 2 tables available, so you just join onto one of them. Then you'll play a best 2 out of 3 game with no side deck. And then finally, once you've played your best 2 out of 3, you then report the results of the game. So you can either do this after every game, or you can play it at the end of the match, but you need to make sure you record who won which game, and then you need to report the results on start.gg. Now, in some situations, someone might have typed something in wrong, or there might be some sort of problem, at which point the best thing to do is to save your replays, just in case there is a bad actor. And if you stay in the duel room that you're currently in, again, the replays are all saved within that duel room. So as long as you don't leave, they will always be available. As well as all of these tournament organizers have help areas in their Discords where you can try and get any disputes settled. So even if something does go wrong, which it barely ever does, it usually gets sorted out very quickly, very efficiently, and very professionally. So this was just a quick video going over all the different tournaments that I play in, all the different tournaments that I know about, and just trying to get more people into the Rush format. Rush Duel on Duel Links is really great. It's so much fun, and playing in these tournaments all the time does feel really cool. Getting monetary prizes also does feel really, really cool. So I would really urge anyone that's interested in playing in these tournaments to sign up to these Discords down below, join in, play in some of these tournaments, and just have a ton of fun. Because there is a really thriving community of Rush Duel players that all show up to these events and love to just play games against each other. And I'd really like it if you could be a part of that too. So thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.